All right, put statements in positive form. Make definite assertions. Avoid tame, colorless, hesitating, non committal language. I'm a huge fan of using language that commits, being direct, uh, using verve, using just, just, just being a laser beam of communication. And that's the beauty of reading a lot. People go, oh, reading is boring. Yeah, a lot of things are boring. A lot of things that get you good jobs are boring. I mean, it just depends on your attitude towards growth. And I hate to sound like like this like hokey nerd, um, but it really I think it really is crucial for me to reiterate, and that is the more you practice, the stronger you will get, and communication is no exception. So, the more you read, the more you write, your language is just going to improve tremendously. And you're not static. Human beings are not static. So, yeah, let's definitely, focus on, practice, 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 and your language will be committal. You'll feel it. And it won't be tame, colorless, hesitating, non-committal. It won't be that kind of language because you'll have all that practice. A lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of practice. Use the word not as a means of denial or an antithesis, never as a means of evasion. He was not very often on time. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even sound good. I mean, if you said it out loud to your friend, they would laugh at you. So, the friend test is crucial as well, right? If you could say it to your friend, does it sound terrible? The family test, the friends and family test, but also sing it out loud, sing it to yourself, seeing it written out also. He was not very often on time. That just doesn't even look good, that I'm looking at it. He usually came late. That makes sense. He did not think that studying Latin was much use. He thought the study of Latin useless. And look at the brevity, the 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 number of words: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. And this is more, probably closer to 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, exactly 10. The Taming of the Shrew is rather weak in spots. Shakespeare does not portray Catherine as a very admirable character, nor does Macaroni long in memory as an important character of Shakespeare's works. And look how long that is. 4.5 lines. Here it's 2.5. The women in The Taming of the Shrew are unattractive. Catherine is disagreeable, Bianca insignificant. So you said all of that in fewer words because you didn't use not as a means of denial. You didn't use not as a means of evasion. Which, even if this sometimes seems a little bit, uh, you know, heavy or it might not really punch you in terms of its absolute clarity. Uh, just remember it's sort of like programming or even math. I mean, almost any subject. You know, if you start learning something, and at first it's really confusing, and then it just gradually gets a little bit easier to understand, and you get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And this is no exception. I'll tell you this right now. I don't. I know a lot of words, but I'm not like some English genius that that went to college at 9 years old and got a PhD at 13 and all that stuff. I worked really really hard, but I'll tell you this, that even when I read poems, there are words that I don't quite understand the phrasing. I would have to look it up, and I would have to really slowly nitpick it and pick it apart. So I just want to, give you guys, some confidence. You don't have to understand every single word. You don't, you know, to feel like you're worthy of learning that subject. Just plow through it, and hopefully, these videos are helpful, and a lot of other resources that you might use are going to be helpful with regards to your communication, your writing skills, etc. But anyways, even if this doesn't make sense, denial, antithesis, evasion, you're like, huh? Does this make sense? Does this sound bad? And then this Sound good? Bad? Good? So a lot of it is just, you know, telling by showing. So sometimes you might not understand every single word or every single phrase, or this might seem kind of like dense material, but I'm telling you, you guys, this is how you learn. This is how I learned, looking at the dictionary. At first the dictionary was daunting. I mean, it's just so many pages, but what's great is every single word is in ABC order, every single word spelled correctly, and just the definitions are there. Same thing with the thesaurus. All these synonyms and antonyms, and they're pretty exact. I mean, that's how I built my vocabulary over the years. And so, just really want to reiterate to you guys that even if some of this stuff seems dry, this is a classic text of academic writing, like all across the world. I'm pretty sure it's all across the world. Definitely here in the West. Elements of Style by William Strunk. I mean, I've talked to doctors and lawyers and it just people in all occupations, and they all, if I were to ask them, what's the number one book on writing, and they almost all of them would say, oh yeah, Elements of Style. But yeah, so examples I think are helpful, even if every single word, you don't quite understand, or might not be completely clear. The last example before correction is indefinite as well as negative. The corrected version consequently is simply a guess at the writer's intention. Okay, all three examples show the weakness inherent in the word not. So as a rule, so here we go. Really, really clear. Hence, as a rule, it is better to express even a negative in a positive form. So not honest is better dishonest. Not important sounds better saying trifling. Did not remember better saying forgot. Did not pay any attention to is better to say ignored. Did not have much confidence is better to say distrusted. Fewer characters, fewer words. The antithesis of negative and positive is strong. Not charity, but simple justice. Not that I love Caesar less, but Rome the more. Negative words other than not are usually strong. The sun never sets upon the British flag. So these are pretty good examples. Hopefully, this is helpful. Put statements in positive form. And you also see, these sentences written in context. So as you're writing, as you're choosing sentences, you can practice. You can type something out and see how it looks, and then put it in a paragraph and see how it reads, and then delete it and then put the other one. But generally, you want to put statements in positive form. You want to definitely take care as to not go super negative in your wording and your language, because it won't be as strong. And if you go negative and you're going passive, then it's just like double bad. So let's definitely put statements in the positive form. Thank you very much.